In this lesson, we are going to learn about something called the distributive property. You've probably heard of it before, even if you don't actually remember it by name. This is the one where you usually have a number instead of parentheses, and then you end up multiplying to everything inside. A lot of times you'll see your teachers draw little rainbows over the top to help you multiply, or help you remember to multiply. So anyways, that's what we're going to be learning in this lesson today. Okay, so we're just going to do a few short examples because it's pretty straightforward. It's multiplying, but sometimes it gets kind of confusing, especially when we start throwing negative numbers in, and if you happen to have missing numbers, so we'll see what happens with that. But start with an easy one. This is 7 times 10x plus 5, so I'm just going to multiply to both things inside. 7 times 10 is 70. The letter part's easy. It's like a little label. You just drop it down behind your answer, and then 7 times 5 is 35, and because it's a positive 35, we just put a plus sign in front of it. Second example, 9 times 1 minus 9n. Don't worry if your letter is in the back, we'll still do it the same way. 9 times 1 is 9, and then 9 times 9, actually negative 9, notice, because it has a minus sign in front of it, is a negative 81, so I'll just drop that down and then bring down the n behind it because it was part of the original, so it has to be part of our answer. Okay, next example, negative 6 times 2 and negative 6 times 7n. So remember, a negative times a positive makes a negative, which means that negative 6 times 2 will be negative 12. And negative 6 times positive 7 will be negative 42, and we'll just keep the n. Now I know sometimes people will be like, oh hey, there's a plus sign in the middle, shouldn't I include that? Well, you can, I mean, if you want to, and you could write it like this. It's not necessary, because remember, minus and negative mean the same thing, but if you like having it there, that's totally fine. Next example, negative 8 times 8x minus 9. Negative 8 times positive 8 is a negative 64. And negative 8 times a negative 9 is a positive 72. Now, one thing I would caution you with this one is do not bring down the negative sign again, because if you do, it will end up changing the end number. So what I do is when I see distributive property problems like this that have a minus sign in the middle, I usually just include it with the second number, like a negative sign, so that it gets taken care of right away. And then you don't have to end up dealing with something like this and going, oh well, negative 8 times negative 9 is negative 72, and then I bring down the minus, and now I got minus and negative, and you're like, oh wait, what do I do? So the easier way to do it, I would say, is to just take care of your negatives right away, know that it's a plus sign, and be done with it. Okay, last example, negative something times v plus 5. If you have missing numbers, you can always put a 1 in front of them. That makes it nice and easy to work with. So then we'll just end up multiplying negative 1 times 1v and times 5. So negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. We'll bring down the v. And then negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. And that's it.